Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of The Mystic Drum, a poem by Gabriel Okara. Gabriel Imomotimi Okara is an African poet, and in this poem, he returns to his roots in history, religion, culture, and folklore, and the poem conveys the intricacies of the African experience through pictures, symbols, rhythm, and tone. The poem goes like this: The mystic drum is in my inside, and fishes danced in the rivers, and men and women danced on land to the rhythm of my drum. Here, the drum typically represents the spiritual pulse of traditional African life in African poetry. According to Okara, at first men and women danced on the land and fish danced in the rivers while the drum pounded inside of him. But standing behind a tree with leaves around her waist, she only smiled with a shake of her head. However, there was a stranger standing behind the tree, grinning indifferently at the depth of their cultural heritage. Still, my drum continued to beat, rippling the air with quickened tempo, compelling the quick and the dead to dance and sing with their shadows. The drum, however, persisted in beating, quickening its pace and sending ripples through the air, inspiring the dead to dance and sing alongside their shadows. Other factors pale in comparison to the ancestors' greatness. The mystic drum is so potent that it can revive even the dead. The pounding of the drum symbolizes the longing for a harmonious Nigeria. But standing behind a tree with leaves around her waist, she only smiled with a shake of her head. Still, the stranger kept grinning distantly at the people. The term outsider is a representation of Western imperialism, which has denigrated anything Eastern, non Western, alien, and hence incomprehensible for their own good as the other. Then the drum beat with the rhythm of the things of the ground and invoked the eye of the sky, the sun and the moon and the river gods, and the trees began to dance. The fishes turned men, and men turned fishes, and things stopped to grow. The mystic drum calls upon the sun, moon, river gods, and trees to start dancing because African culture is so in one with nature. As a result of fishing turning into men and men turning into fish, the gap between people and nature, the animal world and human world, and the hydrosphere and lithosphere are ultimately closed. But standing behind a tree, with leaves around her waist, she only smiled with a shake of her head. The poet repeats the stanza as she gazes at this magnificent landscape. A weird culture, represented by a strange woman, smiles and shakes her head. And then the mystic drum in my inside stopped to beat, and men became men, fishes became fishes, and trees, the sun, and the moon found their places, and the dead went to the ground, and things began to grow. The mystic drum eventually ceased beating, and men turned into men, and fish turned into fish. Thanks to Western scientific imperialism, life has since become mechanical, rational, and dry. Everything has a place. And behind the tree she stood, with roots sprouting from her feet and leaves growing on her head, and smoke issuing from her nose, and her lips parted in a smile, turned cavity belching darkness. Then I packed my mystic drum and turned away, never to beat so loud anymore. On the women, leaves began to sprout. She began to flourish on the soil. Her roots gradually sunk into the ground. Her lips opened in a smile as smoke emitted from them, spreading a sort of parched logic. The word smoke also alludes to the moral haze brought on by industrialization and environmental pollution. In the end, the speaker was completely cut off from the soul of his civilization and left in belching darkness, so he packed off the mystic drum and stopped beating it. The belching gloom is a reference to the hollowness and futility of the forced existence. And here ends the poem. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, And if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.